Now at 5, Pitt State gives the public its first look at its new nursing simulation hospital. Plus, the city of Carterville, Missouri hosts a special election after 2 candidates for city council tied earlier this month. And
President Biden officially announces he will run for a second term in 2024. I'm Nicole D'Antonio at the White House with details we're learning about his campaign as well as his potential challengers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pitt State's giving people a first look at its new nursing simulation hospital. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. The simulation hospital is adjacent to McPherson Hall, the original building for the School of Nursing. Nursing students now have a space to practice, study, and get hands-on learning.
I like lecture just to learn about the nitty-gritty information beforehand, and then I like to get into simulation already knowing that information and being able to practice and fail and then be able to succeed.
Other Pittsburgh healthcare workers, including medical residents, will also use the new facility when it opens. The simulation hospital is scheduled to be complete before the start of the fall semester. Voters in Carterville, Missouri are back at the polls today for a special election to determine the winner of the race for Ward 2 on the City Council. Earlier this month, 2 candidates, Judy Martin and Terry Arterburn, tied. They had a few options for how to settle it, including drawing lots, but they decided to go for this special election. There are 354 registered voters in Ward 2. Only 62 voted last time. Election officials expect turnout today to be better.
Both of the candidates were very involved in this bid. So we look at I'm thinking that we'll probably have a little bit better turnout than we did 3 weeks ago.
Special election is going to cost the city $1,100, but they're saving more than $2,500 by counting the ballots by hand rather than machine. Polls close at 7. We're going to have the results on our website and on KOAM News at 9 and 10. It's National Park Week. One of the hundreds of sites operated by the National Park Service is the Fort Scott National Historic Site. Visitors can learn about events at the old fort that was established in 1842.
By learning history, it's amazing how similar the themes back 150, 170 years ago carry through today. Very familiar. And if we don't learn from the past, we're going to continue having the present that we have.
According to the National Park Service statistics, nearly 27,000 people visited Fort Scott National Historic Site in 2022. Kind of dreary out there today. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we got a few light little showers last night into the morning hours. A little bit of sunshine during the morning, and then clouds have thickened back up across the region. We have another batch of showers, which is pushing in fairly light, and most of this is going to stay along and south of the Kansas-Oklahoma state line and then kind of work along and south of I-44. But you can see a few showers picking up west of Miami. Here's Bonita, Nowata, Bartlesville, getting into southern parts of Delaware County. Again, no thunderstorms, just fairly light, kind of skirting the southern half of the region. So here's 8 p.m. We can go to about midnight, the heaviest of the light rain starting to push out of the region. And temperatures, they're not bad. Most of us upper 50s to lower 60s. Right now, we'll slide back through the 50s into the upper 40s later on tonight. Still, plenty of shower chances. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. President Biden is now an official 2024 presidential candidate. This afternoon, he made his first public appearance after announcing the new campaign with a focus on jobs and the economy. Nicole D'Antonio reports from the White House.
A friendly union crowd welcomed President Biden for his first speech since launching his re-election bid.
Teamsters, laborers, bricklayers, I make no apologies for being labeled the most pro-union president in American history. I'm proud of it.
He focused on themes he will be building on over the next 18 months.
My economic plan is blue-collar blueprint to rebuild America, and that's what we're doing, rebuilding America.
The president officially announced his 2024 candidacy Tuesday morning with a video.
Let's finish this job. I know we can.
Ahead of the announcement, a CBS News poll found Democrats were accepting of his re-election bid. Just 22% said they were excited. Their number one concern, his age. President Biden is 80 years old, a first for a major presidential campaign.
I don't think they're trying to skirt this issue. They're not trying to run away from it. They want to address it head on.
The timing of the announcement is no coincidence. It's 4 years to the day since President Biden announced his 2020 White House bid. A potential rematch could be in the works. Republican candidate and former President Trump hit Biden's announcement on social media.
American families are being decimated by the worst inflation in half a century.
Other Republicans likely to run in 2024 released statements criticizing Biden's record and calling another term a disaster for the American people. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, the White House.
At least one other Democrat has announced his candidacy to run against President Biden. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. launched his bid for the Democratic nomination last week. A jury was selected today to hear the civil lawsuit against former President Trump. It stems from former columnist E. Jean Carroll claiming Mr. Trump raped her in the mid-90s, then defamed her when she went public many years later. Donald Trump has denied the allegations, and his lawyers have indicated he most likely will not testify. Harry Belafonte, the king of Calypso, died this morning at the age of 96. His publicist says the cause was congestive heart failure, and the legendary musician's wife was by his side. In a career that spanned decades, the Grammy winner was known for his activism just as much as his music and movies. Belafonte was born in New York City in 1927 and served in World War II. He marched in the civil rights movement and was a steadfast voice for the black community. Still ahead, hitting the rails.
Train travel has taken off since the pandemic. I'm Wendy Gillette in Switzerland at the highest railway station in Europe with more on the trend.
And next in Health Watch, what new research shows about the impact odd work hours can have on mental health. Topping today's Health Watch, MIT researchers have developed a vaccine printer that can store doses for months at room temperature. The printer generates vaccine-filled microneedle patches. Those patches are then attached to the skin, and the vaccine dissolves without a traditional injection. The printer is also mobile and fits on a tabletop, which scientists say could allow for on-demand vaccines in remote areas without the need for cold storage or shipping. More research shows working odd hours can impact your mental well-being. Naomi Ruckham has more.
The time of day you work could affect your mental health, especially for shift workers. New data from the National Health Interview Survey shows in general, about 3% of working adults experience serious psychological distress at their jobs. That number jumped to almost 5% for workers on evening and night shifts and 4% for those on rotating shifts. Poor work conditions, non-flexible hours, job insecurity, and monthly changes in pay were some of the distressing factors. Previous research links shift work to increased risk of physical health problems as well. A study published last year in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine shows an association between shift work and higher risk of heart attack and diabetes. The survey also shows working adults who did not have paid sick leave had more serious psychological distress. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News, New York.
Shift workers are estimated to be about 25% of the U.S. population. Young children with common ear, nose, and throat issues might be at a higher risk of developing autism. Those are the findings of a study published in the British Medical Journal, which looked at more than 10,000 children. Those who experienced autistic traits had issues like mouth breathing, snoring, ear pulling, and poor listening skills. Sleep apnea was also closely linked to an autism diagnosis. Stool transplants might be more effective than antibiotics for treating gut issues. A new study published in Cochrane looked at cases of a condition known as C. diff, which causes potentially life-threatening diarrhea. 77% of people who received a stool transplant were not infected again within the next 2 months, compared to only 40% who were treated with antibiotics alone. That's a look at today's health news. A little bit later, Apple gets a big victory in federal court over its App Store policy.
Plus, we're tracking some more light showers working into the region. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be kind of a gloomy Tuesday. We had some light, scattered showers last night into the morning hours, a little bit of sunshine this morning, and then the clouds have thickened right back up across the region. Kind of gloomy, but not bad. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, 65 in Nevada, at 61 in Neosho, 61 in Carthage, 59 in Miami. Chanute is sitting at 63. A lot of clouds. 7th and Rangeline sitting at 61. A southerly wind is light. 5 to 10 humidity is at 50%. We are going to get some scattered showers in here as we go through the evening, but mainly the southern half of the 4-state area. Very typical for what we have seen in this pattern, but you can see the rain picking up. Where you see the yellows and the oranges, that's where we're getting some moderate rain. Not much in the way of thunder or lightning, but pushing off toward the east, right along the state line of Kansas and also Oklahoma, and this is going to track pretty much due east. So our northern counties, you aren't going to see much as we go through the evening hours, but a few showers starting to pick up. Craig County, southern parts of Delaware County, just south of the town of Jay, Oklahoma, over toward Nowata, and then Bartlesville, seeing the rain starting to increase. But the heavier rain is going to stay south. Any severe weather stays in northern parts of Texas as we go through the overnight hours. So here's why we've been so cool. Our upper level flow, our jet stream is right out of Canada. So we get a system that tracks by on Friday, but we still pump in that cooler air from Canada. Until this big dome of high pressure breaks down, we're not going to get any severe weather, and we're not going to really have any real heavy widespread rain. I think this will break down in about a week, right around May 5th, and then things will get back to normal May standards here in about a week or so. But you can see those rain chances shoot up this evening, down in the morning, back up afternoon through the overnight hours for us tomorrow night. So we are going to get some rounds of light showers, but look at this tonight. It mainly tracks Kansas, Oklahoma state line, and south. Here's 9 p.m. Light rain continues to work through. By 1 a.m., it's pretty much gone. Mostly cloudy skies. So we start the day here 7 a.m. in the upper 40s, mostly cloudy. Tomorrow is going to be very similar to today. Showers kind of press in the exact same region by tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, mainly our southern counties, and then it's out of here as we get into mid-evening tomorrow evening. Clouds stick around tomorrow night. A little bit more widespread rain. Very light, but widespread rain gets in through the first half of the day on Thursday, and then this storm system is going to be out of here. Day planner tomorrow, 58 by 11, 57 by 3. Showers increasing during the afternoon hours. Rainfall amounts over the next 48 hours. Light, but still something we would like to have. Anywhere from 1/4 of an inch northern counties upwards to 1 inch or 2, but mainly in our southern counties. 59 tomorrow, 60 on Thursday, 67 on Friday. A few showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms by Saturday morning. Most of the weekend looks pretty good. Thunderstorm chances next Tuesday and Friday as we get back into the 70s.
Certainly need the rain.
We do. We need a persistent rain for 24 hours.
Those would help to bring the May flowers.
I know.
Thanks, Doug. British scientists are teaming up with a chemical company in the U.S. in a bid to mass produce plastic products without the pollution. London startup Fabric Nano specializes in cell-free biomanufacturing that uses proteins instead of oil and gas, and is partnering with Sumitomo Chemical America to create climate-friendly products. The companies know it could take a while to see industrial plastics produced through biomanufacturing, but they're hoping the climate-friendly collaboration will eventually pay off for the planet. Coming up, why experts are expecting more people to travel by train this year. Topping today's Consumer Watch, a federal appeals court ruling could make it harder to regulate app store operators by arguing they hold monopolies. In a ruling, the Ninth Circuit Court largely sided with Apple in its case against Fortnite developer Epic Games. It found Apple does not violate antitrust laws by requiring developers to use its proprietary payment systems. The company says it does so for security and privacy. More than 2 million sledgehammers are being recalled over injury concerns. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says DeWalt, Stanley, FatMax, and Craftsman fiberglass sledgehammers, all made by Stanley Black & Decker, are under recalls. The commission says the heads of the sledgehammers can loosen prematurely and detach unexpectedly. Officials have received reports of the sledgehammers causing injuries. Train travel is on track for a big business this year. Some travelers who are fed up with high airfares and delays are instead heading to the rails. Wendy Gillette reports from the Glacier Express, which travels through the Swiss Alps.
There's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it.
Deborah Anthony from southern New Hampshire marveled at the scenery and shared lots of laughs with her family during a recent trip aboard the Glacier Express. The train makes an 8-hour trip through the valleys and mountains of Switzerland as passengers wine and dine and peer out panoramic windows, travel that feels very different from flying.
It's easy to maneuver around. It's easy to get on and off. I like having a schedule. As opposed to flying, it's kind of crazy and being pushed around.
The Swiss train system is well known for its punctuality, ease, and comfort.
You travel through beautiful valleys, along lakes, even you see glaciers, and this is very, very special.
One fan at a time, Trevor.
Swiss tennis star Roger Federer and comedian Trevor Noah are getting on board, starring in this ad for Switzerland Tourism.
I almost wish we could do it again.
Visitors to Switzerland can also journey to the highest railway station in Europe, which is more than 11,300 feet above sea level. Train travel in the country has largely returned to pre-pandemic levels, a worldwide trend, according to luxury train travel advisor Rachel Hardy, who's based in Louisville, Kentucky.
People aren't willing to wait anymore for their bucket list trips.
Rocky Mountaineer, which offers scenic train tours in Canada and the western U.S., is seeing a boost this year, as is Amtrak, which is selling out many trains and expanding service in the Northeast. Many companies are also adding additional tours this year as more travelers say, all aboard. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Amtrak says nearly 1 in 3 passengers are new riders. The company also offers half price rates for children with an accompanying adult. Manufacturing giant 3M announced mass layoffs as it joins others in the manufacturing sector bracing for a possible recession. The company, which owns popular brands like Post-it Notes and Scotch Tape, plans to lay off 6,000 workers worldwide. That's on top of the 2,500 manufacturing jobs 3M cut in January. The company said it expects to save up to $900 million a year before taxes after the layoffs are done. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, part 2 of an investigative series looking into the collapse of hospitals in vulnerable communities. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on Pitt State's new nursing simulation hospital and how it's going to help students. Plus, Missouri begins the process of licensing micro businesses of medical and adult use marijuana products. And Pitt State's Anna Childress racks up the awards for the track and field team. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Peruvian archaeologists have discovered a mummy believed to be more than 1,000 years old, with some of its skin and hair still intact. The mummy was found at the archaeological complex near Lima's outskirts. The body is believed to be that of an adolescent. Archaeologists are still uncovering new finds at the site. In January, 8 children and 12 adults that were believed to have been killed in a ritual sacrifice were unearthed. Fascinating profession to unearth such things, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Rain chances, more of them ahead.
Yeah, we're going to get some light showers for us tonight, or especially the evening hours along and south of the I-44 corridors where most of the rain is going to be. Some more showers popping up tomorrow afternoon.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.